Well, hello. So today's video is about how to be creative. I've been wanting to make this video for a very long time, and here it is. Creativity. What is it? It is a art. It is everything around us. It's all of life. Creativity is something that can happen spontaneously, through motivation, through inspiration, through any type of perceived ideas or perspectives. Creativity is tailored authentically to your being. It is a formless thing, so only you can make creativity by putting it on yourself and expressing it how you wish. Creativity is an art. It will bring you the most fulfillment in life. It's also important to note that there are ways in which we exercise creativity in ways where we may not agree with or dislike in our own lives. Creativity is the physical manifestation of a thought. We were put here on this earth by our Creator to create. Everything on this earth has been made by another individual. That is obviously man-made. And it all started with a thought first. So what exactly do you gain from being creative? Well, you gain happiness, fulfillment, satisfaction, wholeness, appreciation, and a new perspective on life, as well as many other things that really, it's just a part of the individual journey. In present time, we have a lack of creativity among the adults because of mainly their environment not being nurturing to that type of behavior, or we grew up and we grew out of the phase of being creative and it hasn't been revisited because of busyness of life or any excuse that may be utilized against you. Maybe people never attempted to find their creativity again, not realizing the yield of happiness that they could gain from actually pursuing creativity. Or maybe it was a fear of not fitting in and being too much. They end up running into obstacles or limitations that they feel they can't get past. And it really ends up leading to either failure, demotivation, quitting, and it stops a lot of people when they reach obstacles like this. But it's really important to remember that running through these obstacles, we are able to find more lessons that will help speed up the process and propel us forward faster than if we didn't run into any problems. Maybe. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to get authentic results. It's really necessary to put in the time. And it's important to make the switch from addiction to instant gratification to long-term gratification that's going to keep you stable. As long as you make the switch, everything will fall into place. Even though life can be very uncertain sometimes, it's important to remember that it's a test of your trust and faith within yourself and the world that you have the ability to do whatever it takes to reach your goals. This is going to lead you to new depths of your being that you've never even realized you had. And it's going to lead to a new perspective in life where you're going to be able to feel more happy, loving, view everything around you with potential, and just overall a more creator-based perspective that is really a beautiful thing to have in this world, especially in this time. Through the process of creating, you'll find all of the things that you have to offer the world and really everything that you can share to help other people also express themselves creatively. Not to mention, following the path of creativity is going to actually give you more energy than what you have now. It's going to really allow your inner child to flourish and be seen. It's going to make your happiness levels absolutely off the charts. And it's going to really erase all of the unneeded or gunk that lives within your brain that really isn't necessary. to exist, and that really just ends up stressing you out or causing other issues. It's because you're placing your attention on something else instead of things that are bogging you down. It's going to make life insanely easier for you if you embrace creativity, even in the smallest way. However, making the change for as much of your day as you possibly can, it's going to really suck your attention in a good way, where the things that do not matter will be erased. Embracing your inner child through this act, you are going to remember really, that you are capable of doing anything you put your mind to, and it starts with creation. Another thing to note is the fate of every creation is brought into its true light. So if you are creating something that is tapped into a lower frequency of being, it's going to be brought into the light. People will resonate and feel that frequency on which it was created. So it's really better to do the work in the moment instead of ignoring it when you are realizing that it is something that is more of a low frequency effort or maybe decision that you made, and really just untie the knot before it gets harder in the future. Although everything deserves love and appreciation that is created into this earth, it's important to remember that there are also things that can impact people negatively and have impacted people negatively and will be seen as such. There is the spectrum of creativity. We have authentic, pure creativity versus stagnation, conformity, or unconscious autopilot behavior, which is what most of our generation and people that are living in this time zone are obviously in. And when you're able to go on the other side of the spectrum, it's almost the same reason for why a monk meditates for so long. Everyone is capable of creating something. All you have to do is be experimentative, explore, release judgment, be loving, and open to receiving. And if you make a mistake, you better forgive yourself, because you ain't gonna learn any other way. Ideas are something that flow when you allow the space for them and you are willing to receive them. So a great way to get into this headspace is through meditation or just relaxing, maybe during the shower when you're not really thinking about anything. Just make the conscious effort throughout your day to try and embrace silence more often, or try and find stillness in the day. Everybody is creative, okay? Is your creativity dormant? The example of a child. Children, when they are born and they are around maybe toddlers or really any age, they start to become creative and they start just doing the most random things, completely unlimited or bound by any logic or any type of thing that could hold them back at all. And they're just creating for the thrill of it, for their own satisfaction. And it's, to an adult, it can be kind of ignorant. Maybe they picture trees walking around with little faces on them or something like that. But maybe the adult doesn't see the thrill of it because they know it's not something that can really happen. And then there's the adult who completely is stripped of all creativity and just goes about the day without embracing that childlike wonder or curiosity. Creativity is a muscle. As you go to the gym, you start to gain muscles and you start to get addicted to it because it's progress. That's kind of how human beings are. So creativity is a muscle. When you start to work it more throughout the day and imbue it into every aspect of your day, it starts to be easy and you start to see the imagination of your mind open up more and more, and everything becomes more fun. You can turn something that is a depressing situation into something that is insanely gratifying and happy. You can turn something that's humiliating into something that is empowering, to experimentation, exploration, and curiosity. Now we are adding imagination, visualization, and expression. If you put yourself in a receiving mindset, you will unearth valuable ideas. So why be creative? Dreams come true. Dreams come true. And you need the confidence in order to manifest these items into physical reality. The world wants you to express yourself creatively. It wants to see what you have to offer it. And after doing so, you start to really see a snowball effect in play. Once you're done creating one item, maybe the next one seems to be easier, and so on and so forth. It starts to become like second nature to you. This is essentially the basis of creating your own reality. You can create anything that you have not imagined and have imagined. So back to our idea of using creativity in the wrong way, people have recognized how we as human beings work, essentially, how we function. And we have created, not us, but there has been a system that has been created that suppresses this creativity in order for us to work for another individual and to heighten what they want, what they want to see in the world. And it is a low frequency vibration that they are resonating on, which is creating low frequency items that we don't want to see in this world. And we are working for that to continue happening if we do not step out of that system, basically the matrix, and we work for ourselves and create something of our own being. So how do we be creative? There are infinite ways to be creative. Within the general bounds of logic, we have an understanding of what we can and cannot do in this world. But really, you are the one who places the limitations on it. And don't escape the realism that is also at play when I say that, because it should be calculated properly using common sense, of course. So one exercise I recommend is just clearing your mind and thinking and imagining and not really limiting yourself in any potential or capacity as of now, and just seeing where your mind goes. The clearer your mind can be, the more easier these ideas and thoughts will be able to manifest, and you will be able to visualize. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, in his book, he talks about picturing a vast nothingness and just being in that nothingness and not finding it scary, but viewing it as a blank canvas which you can create absolutely anything from. It is an infinite void of matter, energy, and you can take those pieces and shape it into whatever you want. This is a functioning way to create your own reality or create the identity that you want for yourself. Once you start to do this over and over again, it starts to be easier and it starts to be more attainable, and you can begin to refine it over time and time again and take the actions forward in order to see this reality through your eyes in physical reality. Because the universe wants to see you succeed and wants to see you create for yourself, it is also working in your favor, and you have to remember that regardless of what you may be presented with. While you are refining this idea, this reality, this person that you want to become, it's really important to get into the nitty-gritty details and to really ask, what do I want? Why do I want it? What are the technicalities? What are the little designs, the intricate inner workings of it all? And really just closing in as much empty uncertainty space that you have within that idea. It's kind of important to be a little bit vague or more lenient when it comes to the when and how. So, next thing is to love yourself and to love your creations unconditionally. What is unconditionally? Without any limitations, without any real disruption that comes within loving something. If you're judging it, it's a lapse in unconditional love. Being rude to it or anything negative. It's, first of all, a reflection of yourself, and it is also going to lapse at unconditional love, and that's fine. I mean, it happens in life, and it is something that we can strive to work towards, and it's okay if we lapse because we're learning, and it's important to forgive yourself. This is very important because after a while, we start to get a more ease and understanding of this is absolutely perfect. Like, we have full clarity on it being absolutely perfect, even if when we're attempting to create that unconditional love, we have trouble seeing it, because after a while, it becomes clear. We start to open our mind, and we start to ask questions like, what if? Like, what if this is really how it was this whole time? What if it was truly beautiful from the beginning, and it was just me who was lacking the perception and seeing in tunnel vision to actually appreciate what is in front of me? Your creations are growing into something that is beautiful, and it is a process which is also beautiful. And with that, I have to say it's really important to pamper yourself and to love yourself and to just all around be forgiving and just absolutely revel and relish yourself in all of the joys and unfortunate events of life, because you deserve that for yourself. And if anything, start to unconditionally love yourself first. Embrace imperfection, because it is perfection within itself. And it is an expectation to view something as imperfect or as lacking of perfection. So it's important when you're going about building that activity of building a reality, a thing, or yourself, you have to release the expectations of it being exactly this way, because, well, how would it be a surprise? Embrace failure and embrace humiliation. Once you start to really embrace these things, and you gain level-headedness, and you start to see the gifts that exist in these negative experiences, you really are just unstoppable at that point, and it really is just going to absolutely skyrocket your progress. And the more you really break out of the mold that society has created for you, and you start to create things that maybe you even are not very liking of, or you start to go out of the box or out of the norm or whatever, and you just start to create, that's going to exponentially just mind blown. Like, it really is just about doing everything the opposite that we have been taught with societal structures. Push the boundaries, okay? Push the boundaries. Push the boundaries. Create something meaningful to you. Create something that people won't understand. Just create. For the sake of creating. For the sake of creating. I swear to God, this piece of hair is like... There exists endless possibilities, and it is up to you to see them. Okay, let yourself be inspired by the things around you. When you start to view things with unconditional love, you start to really be able to see the potential that is around you. And you start to actually be able to, I would say, gain the highest peak level of extracting beauty from things and creating something that is just mind-blowing. So what holds us back? The reason why I say to find things that are contradictory to what you may like is because we are in a reality that has been created before us, and we have essentially had no say in it, which is going to give us a sense of powerlessness. It is going to really just open the wound of we don't have a say in the world that we live in. And the worst part about it is that we are even fed lies of it being a democracy, of the power being to the people. So, and it just gets worse and worse from there. And it really is no wonder we have problems with mental illness, is because we are being fed lies. And it's really important to take that with heaviness, to really understand that it is something that we are living in, and put a smile on your face while you say it, because I'm telling you, like, first of all, it's important to smile when you say it, because there is no need for any more sadness to be, especially from this. Like, they've taken all our happiness from us. Why do we need to continue frowning about it? First of all. Second of all, with this, we are able to see the potential, the absolute mountains of progress that we can make because we've hit rock bottom, essentially. So, with knowing all that, people are docile, all right? They're unconscious. They're just doing whatever they're handed to them. And, like, I don't blame them, but just between me and you, they could be doing better. And when you're like that, you should at least be able to come to the acceptance that and knowing that you are that way, and to try and do something better. And just, I don't know, realize that you're alive, I guess. And I seriously know how difficult it is to realize that you're alive. But it's just important. If you need to rip off all your clothing and run around the street screaming, "I'm alive," please do it. Please, if that will solve you. If that will solve you, please, because we need more people who are aware and acknowledging and working towards betterment. If you are simply working towards betterment, I love you. The disadvantages that we face in this life are nothing but a reflection of the heights that we can climb to as a society and as an individual. Just look to yourself for a change, and you will realize. Stop looking outside of yourself. Just try it, okay? I don't know why I keep looking like down here. I should be looking up here where you guys are, but it's like so weird, okay? It's not that complicated. Like, humans, we are the only ones who actually place limitations on the things that we can and cannot do. And we do it because we don't understand what we can and cannot do. We don't understand our life full enough with clarity to really have a structured understanding. That's why science is only a hypothesis, is because we don't really know. We could hypothesize, but do we really know? Do we really know? No. Do we really know? Like, we are the only ones who place these limitations. Can and can't, turning everything into an analytical equation. Sadly, not sadly at all, but life doesn't want to live that way, and it's not that way, and we are trying to put it in a box. And that is something I really just want to emphasize, and I will make a separate video on why I hate labels so much, because that is exactly the reason for why I hate labels. But anyways, this is what we're trying to do with life. There are things that can be wrong and right at the same time, and we do not take that into consideration nearly enough. Our life is basically a contradiction. Us trying to oversimplify things and to make it a pretty definition, when in general it's not like that at all. Reality is not the way it's explained, and it's not something that can be really explained. It's better to truly understand it in a feeling level, because that is in a more intelligent language than speaking, that we really have just neglected and completely tossed in the sand Reality is not how it's supposed to feel. I think that's more important than reality is not what it seems. Reality is not how it's supposed to feel. And people often forget that. People often forget that. Try not to have any labels. Try not to try too hardly to identify things or attach a sense of mindness, as Joe Dispenza likes to put it, and I think that's very important, to items, to perspectives, to ideas, to really anything, and only adopt the bare bones of reality, which is what I'm trying to hand you, but it's gonna be a little bumpy road, okay? It's important to not let the things around you let you down, okay? Just use so what. So what? So what? Okay, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna still do what I had said I was gonna do, and I'm gonna make it happen, and I'm going to succeed. So what? So what? Okay. Those two words saved me. Unless you physically place yourself out of the box, it's gonna be difficult to think outside of the box. Okay, that's just a quick random thing I wanted to say. It's really, if you don't physically make the effort to place yourself out of the box, and I mean effort, you are going to be magnetized back to that reality because it's a stronger magnet right now. And if you can just work that magnet and just get it away from you, and it's possible, and then you go to another beautiful glittery magnet instead of this void black hole magnet, okay, that you're currently attached to, and you just, it works, okay? And it is like a magnet, and thinking like the ripping off of the magnet. I wish I had magnets to really, emphasize this, but it's pulling it out like the first couple of milliseconds, really, I don't even know, okay, just millimeters, okay? It's gonna be very hard, okay? And it's gonna wanna just try and bring it back, but you have to just, and the more farther away it gets, the easier it gets, okay? And then when that magnet is away, there's another magnet, and it's a beautiful magnet, okay? And then it comes here, and once you, and it's gonna take a little bit to find that magnet, and then you're just like, okay, and then you get to it, and you're like, okay. These challenges, they're gonna lead you to something great. Okay. It's gonna be okay. So back to the whole bare bones thing, life is easier that way when you're looking at it with literally no blueprint, no absolute garbage attached, okay? And you just toss that. This is why consumption, as consuming a bunch of knowledge, is not a good thing. It's not, because it's still consumption, and it's not really necessarily needed, and you're gonna forget it anyways, and it's a waste of time. So just be willing to search and be willing to receive. Be willing to search, be willing to receive, okay? Be willing to take the steps forward, to just do it, to accept what reality really is, and deep down in your heart, without me having to say anything, So that's why I tell you, look within. Look within, but let go of expectations, and regardless, you always have that information within you, okay? You always have the information. As long as you look within, you'll find it, and you don't need to be attached to it, because everything is you, okay? Everything's you. I was gonna find something, but okay, here. These tarot cards, right? They're me. And isn't that funny? Okay, they're me. These are me. This lipstick, chapstick, it's me, okay? I don't need it, okay? It's me. It's a part of me, because it's in this life with me, okay? You're also a part of me, okay? So even if I do forget you, which I would never, okay? You're within me, okay? Okay, do you kind of get it? Is this making sense? Remember, water, like use logic, okay? Like if you don't have water for like 5 days and you're like, it's within me. No, okay? No. Come on. How do we be more creative now that we know the foundation? First of all, lose the jaded personality. Like, seriously. I really, just for the people who have it, lose it. And I'm trying not to, like, just lose it. Okay? If you have the need to consume with a creator mindset. Focus your energy inward, okay? This will place your attention on the things that are your dreams and your passions and you, instead of the things outward around you. This is, in my previous video, I mentioned treat the reality that you want realer than the reality that you are in right now. And in this case, it's very important. If you're focusing on the reality that you have around you and you don't like it, okay, and you're not finding gratitude in it, when you are first starting to build your dream reality or your dream life, you need to be focusing your attention inward on yourself. When you feel feelings in the present tense, feel them, okay? Feel them to the depths that you believe you're able to, and alchemize them into a creation. Okay? When you feel like you need to act on something, when you gain inspiration for something, you don't wait a couple of weeks. You don't wait until you feel you're ready. You act then and there. And I'm telling you, that is going to get you more progress forward than if you, well, I actually don't really have a structure plan. Well, I actually really don't think I'm ready for this. Well, don't use an excuse. Don't use an excuse. It's literally going to postpone you like 5 months. You just have to do it. If you lose faith, if you believe you're incapable of doing something and you lack the discipline for it, oh my God. I'm speaking to my past self, okay? If you lack the discipline to do this, and if you feel like there's something wrong with you, something missing that is incapable of doing the thing that you want to do, but you really want to do it, what? What? No. Because let me tell you right now, and please listen to my advice now, that isn't the case, and you have all the ability to do it. Remember that 99% of the things that are picked up, that are hobbies, that people have that you see on your social media or just in regular life, or that you want to really try, it takes effort. It takes trial, it takes error. 99% of the things. So when you do everything on how not to be creative, you lose your jaded mindset, okay? You consume things with a creative mindset. You focus all your attention on your dream life and your dream self, and you find good moments, okay? You find those good moments in the present moment. This is really potent behavior. Take the time to reflect to see if this is really what you want to move towards in life. Take the time to really see if it's a passing thing maybe, or if it's something that you really want to commit to, and act accordingly. Act maturely, act in the best possible way that you can think of in this exact moment. If something is meant for you, it will keep finding you. Turn off the noise and embrace the boredom, because that is going to really nourish you and bring back up that tolerance for consumption, for creating, for expressing yourself. Just, you have to use balance, you have to use moderation, and silence is a part of that structure. You see that contradiction I used there of saying not to follow a structure, but just letting you know, like, don't get confused. It's bare bones that I'm trying to teach, and I don't know, I'm trying, okay, I'm trying. So on the topic of attention, another thing that Joe Dispenza mentioned in his book is radio stations. I think it's a great analogy. Really treating your attention as if it were a radio station, okay? Tuning it to a bunch of loud, static bull crap, all right? People are just yapping in your mouth, saying all this church choir stuff and all this stuff about, whatever politics and religion and the world falling apart and whatever, and then you just turn it to classical music, okay? Or you turn it to literally nothing, like not even static, okay? And you just tune out everything that is not needed, not necessarily, literally just holding you back, okay? And you just embrace this quietness. Or you turn it into something that's motivational. Turn it into some hardcore productive music, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really need to make the effort to direct your attention elsewhere, to direct your attention where you want it to be. And it's the physical effort of placing yourself elsewhere. Breakthroughs will come. You have to stay consistent. Take a break whenever you need to, but you have to stay consistent. It will gain you clarity. It will gain you the confidence you need. Just don't lose sight of your creation, no matter what. Don't lose sight of the thing that you want to create for yourself. So, shiny object syndrome, okay? Some people call it a disorder. Some people call it hyperfixation. Whatever it is, erase the label. Toss it aside, all right? Embrace it. Embrace it. And embrace it healthily, all right? Because I'm telling you, these people who go out and they're hyperfixating on giraffes, all right? And then they spend like 5 consecutive days researching giraffes, and they're not taking a shower, they're not eating, they're not drinking their water. Like, you have to be healthy, you have to be mature, you have to be disciplined. This is discipline. This is not an illness. This is discipline that you are lacking, okay? So you have to really just, okay, I'll stop looking at giraffes for a second. All right, I'm gonna go eat some food. All right, I'm gonna take that shower. All right, that's just how you have to be. So embrace that curiosity, but do it healthily, please. Do it healthily, do it. Just be mature about it. And remember that shiny object syndrome is a honeymoon phase, okay? It's basically a honeymoon phase. And you are going into this giraffes like, oh my God, I'm gonna study giraffes for the rest of my life, right? For this week, you are studying giraffes like crazy. You can't look away from them. But I'm telling you, after that week's over, after that time period where your brain is like bored, it's gonna be like, I hate giraffes. Or it's gonna be like, this is not for me. Like, and you are gonna go away and you are not gonna think about giraffes anymore, okay? And if you really care about those giraffes and you really want to turn it into something that's good for you and that's going to be a lifelong passion, a journey, or even just a short-term thing, you have to lock in, and that's where you are tested. You have to just go for it, and oh my God, I'm so sick of looking at giraffes. Like, I'm so done. I'm not gonna, I really hate giraffes. I don't even want to look at them anymore. But if you know in the back of your heart that you really want to do this, you have to continue, because this is the discipline that we are lacking. You are special, so be a co-creator. You have not lived the same experiences, the same perspectives, had the same emotions, had the same anything with the person directly next to you, or your neighbor, or whatever. Remember, you have something valuable that you can create, and it's authentic to you. You can create something life-changing because we are amazing creatures. That means you, that means me, all right? Everyone has the ability to change the world. Everyone has the ability to change themselves. Everyone can work together to realize heaven on earth. You can create that. You can be a part of that. You can create heaven on earth for yourself. Creativity has no limitations. You are the only one who conforms to these limitations, these obstacles that you place upon yourself, that literally right behind there is your dream. It is truly only self-inflicted. It can be easier said than done, but it is not impossible. It is not something that you are incapable of doing. It's something that takes time, it takes effort, it takes discipline, and that's just anything in life. And it's going to come to you as long as you continue forth working at it, and you have the belief and you have the trust that you are going to reach it, and the universe is going to help you. You will gain a new reality. You will discover yourself on a deeper level. You will see everything in a more beautiful and wild lens. You will connect with your inner child. You will grow extraordinarily. You will reach heights nobody has ever imagined. You will rebel against modern structures. You will open new doors. You will help other people. You will find confidence in the heights that you can reach. You will create a whole new identity for yourself. You will stand in your power. You will learn to trust yourself. You will gain discipline. You will create your purpose. You will create something magnificent. You will manifest a part of your soul into physical reality and much more. So stick to the journey and embrace creativity whenever you can, because it is essential and it is the reason that we are alive as human beings.